What is so controversial about this bill?
Yeah, I think it takes a step back to the way Connecticut has been built. It's based on 169 different municipalities, and what they do is very unique. Every one of those towns and cities have their own culture, their own vibe, and how they like to try to see their future in their towns and municipalities. And I think because of that, a lot of the things that are getting pushed down maybe from Hartford really tend to be a one size fits all. And I think that's the thing. It's attacking towards local control. And I know it's a phrase that it gets a lot of eye rolls and a lot of talk about, but the idea is people like to have their own control over what's happening in their towns. We have locally elected planning and zoning officials. We locally elect them. And we turn that power over to them to say, hey, do what's best for our town. There's laws and written in there in state mandates, but also within the individual towns of how they like to try to proceed through their POCD report or whatever that they have to follow. They don't necessarily have a free reign at these planning and zoning commissions to be able to do what they want. They do have to follow that rule of law. So they are kind of tied a little bit, but they get to make those regulations. They get to make a lot of those rules locally and what they see fit and what best for that individual town, that municipality. And I think a lot of the folks that find this controversial is that push down to this where, hey, you're taking away some of those abilities of us to make those decisions locally. And I don't think people like that chance of, potentially losing some of that local control.
If the bill comes back for a vote, how will the language of this bill change?
Yeah, I think it'll largely be the same. The governor elected to veto it based on, I'll let him speak. He heard a lot from mayors, right? Mayors that we didn't hear from prior to passage. And everything that's in this bill has been out since January and February.
There's a ton of different bills and concepts that get passed out of committee, but not necessarily all of them are in there. There was 5 different committee bills, 5 different committees. There was something from banking. There was something from P&D and housing. There's stuff from Judish in this bill. So you don't know what's in the bill until the bill's written. We didn't have the bill language until like the day before it went. So when you're asking mayors, first selectmen, elected officials throughout the state to understand what's in the bill, yes, it might have passed, but there's a lot of stuff that passed in the housing committee that never got put into a bill. You have to see what the language is, because the words matter.
As ranking member of the Housing Committee, you were never invited to the table.
Majority leader here, you can ask him that question, but I will say is that we were brought in the day before, basically, and the day of the bill to be called. That's when we were brought in, really, to just dissect and really talk about issues in the bill. And until we saw the language, we really can't give a lot of information until you see the actual words on a piece of paper. I have it right here in front of me.
No, I understand.
I was a little disappointed hearing the majority leader say that the bill's being very close to the same thing if we were going to come back with it in September. The governor made it very clear that's not something he wanted to sign. To come back with the same bill very close would be a problem. I think there has to be major adjustments to the bill.
If the housing chairs and the Democrat leadership offered you one provision or elimination of this housing bill, what would it be?
I would take away the fair share piece. It really putting a number to a town of what affordable housing units they must have, and that's for all 169 towns.
Must plan for.
Must plan for.
We're not requiring anyone to build.
Not
anything.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not
yet.
See?
Not yet, because when you put a number against somebody, it's what is the number there for? And if it's a goal, which you guys have said it's a goal,
right.
These numbers that I have them here, they're unrealistic. I mean, look at someone like Easton; they're asking for 1,256 affordable housing units.
But we were only asking them to plan for 25%.
Yes,
so
because
1,200 units
realize,
over 20 years.
Because I think you guys realize how bad these numbers are. And you're like, that unrealistic, and you have to say, to make it a little bit better, let's make it 25% of that.
No, we actually make a rational decision.
No, but here's the thing is, when the number's crap, 25% of crap is still crap. Like, that's what it is. In this report and these numbers, no one stepped foot in Easton to make this number up. This number came out of the air, literally, in my opinion.
It didn't come out of the air. It was a 1.5-year assessment that was done by a consultant that we hired.
It was poorly done because I'd like to know someone walk around town.
Did you engage in that process with Eco Northwest? Did you talk to them at all?
I had interviews with them.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe
So you participated in the assessment.
But they did not step foot in Easton.
Because what we wanted was an objective assessment of what the housing need is in Connecticut.
I'll drive around Easton. I won't even charge them a tax like my other state representative in Easton who wants to charge everyone taxes in town. I won't even do that. I'll drive around for free and show them and tell me where they can put 1,256 units.
Maybe 10 towns actually have the bulk of affordable housing in our communities.
A lot of the focus that we talk about is about affordable housing, and my issues with that, and we did pass a bill this year, is to define what the word affordable means. If you walk on the street and ask what a person of affordable housing is not what we as a state legislature accounted for. So things like a mobile home, like in a mobile home park. they're not usually, most of the time, vast majority, they are not considered affordable. But yet they are truly affordable in that town usually, but they're not counted that way. So it's really difficult to understand what it truly is affordable and what we're trying to really pigeonhole it to be that way when there is a lot of affordable housing out there that's naturally there.